looking at how to create PMs, how to complete PMs, and how to manage your PMs. And then we'll have a question and answer at the end of our demo today. So I wanted to introduce the team leading today's meeting. This grainy picture of me and Jessica Hamilton, who will be our moderator. If you have any questions as we're rolling along today, please feel free to use that question and answer button at the bottom of your screen. I'll be fielding those questions at the end of our demo today. So once again, just at the bottom of your screen, there's a Q&A button. If you have any questions, please feel free to send those our way. All right, let's get started. So let's just go over exactly what a PM is. Just the regular maintenance and routine maintenance of equipment and assets in order to keep them running and prevent any costly, unplanned downtime from unexpected equipment failure. Quite simply put, teams can get in this cycle where you're really just putting fires out a lot of times. You're not getting ahead of your work. It feels like you're coming in to work each day to react to stuff, and you're feeling maybe behind, or your team maybe feels behind. And the goal of preventative maintenance is to solve that issue. So why preventative maintenance versus reactive maintenance? Preventive maintenance helps prevent unexpected building failures. It helps reduce future repairs. It helps reduce the amount of hours necessary to work in the day. Assets that are well maintained will be more energy efficient, than saving your building money or helping extend the lifetime of those assets. And then just workforce benefits to having less reactive work. I know that when I come into work, I like to know what I'm doing that day. I don't like to have a lot of fires that come up as we're going along the day. I like to have my schedule set and stick to that. And I'm sure a lot of people like to do that as well. So let's look at how to have a successful strategy for managing your PMs. What we say is that a successful strategy is always going to start with interdepartment collaboration. So sit down with your team and have an honest conversation about what in your building is failing, what your team is currently doing, or what they want to do, things that they're noticing around the building, and then have an honest conversation about what causes the most disruption if it fails. So maybe that is a boiler or a chiller. If that thing goes down, maybe your building isn't occupiable. I know in Wisconsin, if you have a boiler go down, your building might become very cold and you can't have occupants in there, which can lead to loss of revenue or just uncomfortable and unsatisfied building occupants. So how do you roll out a PM plan, especially in AkitaBox? Well, AkitaBox will help you along the way to set up your PM programs. We typically suggest a tiered approach where we're going to look at your important assets first. We're going to take a look at the things that, if they fail, is going to cause building disruption. We'll have a meeting with you guys where we can supply you with RS Means data to help upload that stuff for you guys. RS Means is a company we work with that gives us industry standards of descriptions of what a PM should be, maybe how routine those PMs should be, when they should occur. We have some information for you where if you're ready to be set up in your PMs, we can look at that and help determine the things that we want to touch and the things that should be in your system. Beyond that, I'm sure many of you already have current PM systems in place and might want to integrate those into AkitaBox. That's something that we can help out with as well. Just contact your customer success manager, and we'd be happy to set up a meeting to look at what your current program looks like and how to get that into AkitaBox. Now, once you're past that tiered approach, maybe we've gotten a lot of your information in there and you're looking to kind of add stuff as we go. We'll be looking at how to do that today. We'll be looking at how to quickly add PMs to new asset types or new rooms. Another good thing to think about when you're determining what you want your PM strategy to be is look at anything that's done on a regular cadence. That's another great function of AkitaBox PMs. It allows you to schedule those recurring work orders very easily. So let's say, for example, you have a space of your building that needs a ream of paper delivered to it every Thursday. AkitaBox can help you set up that PM so that every Thursday you're getting that work order to remind you to do that work. Great. I did want to mention that if you're looking for a higher level of certifications for inspections outside of PMs, we recently rolled out our inspections app. AkitaBox Inspection really allows for compliance mandated inspections to be tracked and accessed over time. We have custom checklist creation and round template creation as well in this app. If you have any questions about inspections or would be interested in seeing what that looks like, please contact your customer success manager. We're happy to set up a demo or send you more information about what inspections is. So without further ado, I'd like to just jump over and start our demo of AkitaBox preventative maintenance. So I'm starting here in the building dashboard. Let's first take a look at where your work orders generate and the difference between the reactive and preventive. So first we have reactive work orders and preventive work orders. They're going to live in the same place right here, and they're going to be completed exactly the same. So a PM, you'll notice you can click on this drop down and you'll have the same 6 options that you do for reactive work. You can manage the assignee, you can print the work order, you can reschedule, cancel, log work, and complete. They're going to complete the same way. Just click the complete button, log the amount of time you spent, the material used, and the action taken. Click log work and complete. And that'll complete that work order and put it in your completed work order section. We will also track that that work order was completed against that asset. So if later you want to go into a specific assets information and see closed work orders, you'll be able to do that. Great, so let's take a look at how to create maintenance schedules. There's plenty of ways to create maintenance schedules in AkitaBox. We're going to look at a few today. So I'm going to start off by jumping over to my plan view. Maybe you're in a phase where AkitaBox has helped you roll out your important tier 1 assets, and now you're looking to slowly start rolling other things out. Something that typically won't make it into a tier 1 would be a cabinet unit heater. Let's say that you've noticed your team is doing well with their PMs and you just want to start rolling some more out on assets that might break down more often. For today, I'm going to use these 2 cabinet unit heaters as examples. Let's say that this is a main entrance. Maybe this door gets used a lot, so these cabinet unit heaters are going to have a lot of wear and tear on them as they're going to be used for heating constantly. So if you come up to the plus button in the top right corner of AkitaBox and click on that, you'll see you'll have your option to create service request work orders, and there we have maintenance schedules. So let's say I wanted to create a maintenance schedule for this asset right here. I know it's cabinet unit heater 5. I'm going to go ahead and click add, maintenance schedule. And from here, I will have my building pre-selected. If I know what asset I want to create a work order for, I can simply click that in there and select the asset I want to create the work order for. Go ahead and click next, and you'll be brought to the details page, where you'll be asked to give a subject for this work order. Maybe this is just an annual inspection and maintenance. Your priority will default to medium. If that needs to be any higher, go ahead and select what that needs to be. Estimated work hours will default to 1. Change that if you have a different estimate. Maybe this should only take a half hour. Go ahead and add your maintenance type in. The default maintenance types in AkitaBox are clean and custodial, general maintenance, inspection, and test. These are customizable in our settings page, so if you do want to add more maintenance types, feel free to. Today, we're just going to call that a general maintenance. Determine our trade. I'm going to call this HVAC. You can add any assignees in here and have multiple assignees if you'd like. And then finally, a description. Maybe this is just a filter change and clean. Go ahead and click next. and you'll be brought to your last step in creating an AkitaBox maintenance schedule, which is determining how often this thing should repeat. So like I said, this is going to be an annual inspection, so I'd select years. We do have months, weeks, and days available as well. Something I do want to mention is if you do select weeks, we do allow you to determine the day of the week that you want that to occur on. So maybe you want it to occur every Monday. Just select the days you'd like that to occur on. But we're going to select a year for this piece of equipment. Go ahead and change your start date if you'd like by clicking on this calendar icon where you can select any day past today. Scroll through and find the day you want. Maybe I want this to start today. Go ahead and change your work order duration for how long you want this work order to stay open before it tells the employee that it's overdue. Maybe you only have 2 days to complete this work order. Go ahead and click add. And we've just created a maintenance schedule for cabinet unit heater 5, recurring every January 28th. Because today is January 28th, I'm going to hop back to our AkitaBox dashboard and refresh my page. And we should get that work order in here, which will be completed just the same way as other work orders. Next, let's take a look at how to create work orders in bulk. Maybe you don't want to create them one at a time. You want to create them for a group of things. You can do that for both your rooms and your asset fields. So let's say that I want to create a maintenance schedule in every single one of my bathrooms. I'm going to go ahead and turn a filter on for room type. So my room type, and I want to select all of my bathrooms. Go ahead and click add filter. And now AkitaBox will only display rooms that have the room type as bathroom. What I'm going to do now is create a maintenance schedule for each one of these things to recur weekly. Maybe I want to send that reminder out to my custodial staff that these need to be cleaned every Friday. Go ahead and select the ones that you want. You'll notice when you click on this white space, you'll get your options to create a service request on that room, work order, maintenance schedule, decommissioning, and deleting. Let's say I wanted to select all these things. I could simply click select all. Another handy tool AkitaBox has is the ability to hold the control button and select things. Right now it's deselecting things, but if I hold that control button, I can select that thing again. You can also use the shift button similarly. So if I wanted to create a maintenance schedule for these things, I can easily do that in bulk. This is going to be a weekly bathroom clean. My priority will be medium. I'll tell my team that this should take only about a quarter of an hour, 15 minutes. Select your maintenance type. This will be cleaning and custodial. I have my cleaning and custodial maintenance type to automatically default to the custodial trade, and I am the default assignee for all custodial things. If you do not have your AkitaBox set up that way, you'd simply just select the trade and assignee you'd like. Add the descriptions that you'd like, and go ahead and click next, which will bring you to the same page where we're going to determine how often we want this to repeat. I want this every week on Friday, starting tomorrow. And it's going to stay open one day because that cleaning needs to be done on Friday. Go ahead and click add. And now each one of these rooms will have a work order generated tomorrow asking for the bathroom to be cleaned. Great. When you're creating maintenance schedules in bulk, you might notice the load time will take a little bit longer. So we'll go ahead and let this load. It should be done in a couple seconds here. Once that's loaded, AkitaBox will tell me that my maintenance schedules have been created. 22 maintenance schedules have been successfully created. Great, so that's one way of using the AkitaBox rooms field and filtering to determine maintenance schedules and create maintenance schedules for a set group of rooms. Next, let's take a look at how to do that for our asset fields. Go ahead and click on the asset field, just like you did in the rooms. It's going to function the same way. You can click and hit this white space. Once again, you can hold Control to select one-off instances. But what I'm going to demo today is creating a PM for something that probably wouldn't have been created in our tier 1. Let's say that I want to find a specific type of information, and I want to create my maintenance schedules for all of my carbon monoxide detectors, CO detectors. I'm going to turn a filter on for the CO detectors. And now AkitaBox will display all of the CO2 detectors in the government center building that I'm currently in. That's going to function the same way as the rooms field did to create in bulk. So click off in this white space. You can either click select all, you can hold shift to select things through somewhere, and control to deselect and reselect things. I'm going to go ahead and create the maintenance schedule for this. And maybe this is the week, the monthly test. Select your maintenance type. We're going to call this an inspection. The trade will be fire, life, safety, just fire. Once again, we could add multiple assignments if we'd like. Add a description. And go ahead and click next, which will once again bring you to your schedule. We're going to have this repeat monthly, starting maybe next Monday. And I want this to stay open for 5 days. I'm going to give my team 1 week to complete this work. Go ahead and click add. And this should work a little bit faster than last time, as we only have 4 things. And we created our 4 maintenance schedules for those rooms. Great. Now that we know how to create maintenance schedules and complete maintenance schedules, let's take a look at how to manage our maintenance schedules. So as I'm sure many of you know, a good PM system is well managed. You want to make sure that your assignees are correct. You want to make sure that your frequencies are correct. And you want to make sure that you're doing the things that you actually want to do. So let's take a look first at maybe, let's use a scenario where you have an employee that is no longer with the team. For sake of today, I'm going to use Erica. Thankfully, Erica is still with us at AkitaBox, but let's just pretend that in our organization, she was not. I went ahead and I turned a filter on for assignee, made the assignee Erica, and now I'm only viewing maintenance schedules that are assigned to Erica. From here, you can click on the maintenance schedule, and you'll notice you'll have the option to edit the frequency, reassign the work, cancel the work, and select all the work. When you select multiple things, you'll notice that you can reassign in bulk. So maybe I want to reassign all of this work. I want to remove Erica, and I'm going to assign it to Jessica. Go ahead and click apply. And now when these maintenance schedules generate, it will send that work order information to Jessica. She'll receive that email with a link to the work order, as well as the work order living in her dashboard. Great. Let's say that you want to take a look at all of your HVAC equipment now. Maybe you want to start editing the frequency because some things were being generated too close to one another, and you wanted to separate them out a little bit. I'm going to clear my filter for assignee and turn a new filter on for trade. So click trade, and I want to view all of my HVAC equipment, add that filter, and now I'm only viewing maintenance schedules where the defined trade was HVAC. Once you're in here, maybe I want to start managing these belt changes. Just simply click on the work order and click edit frequency, which will bring up our manual frequency editing, where you can change how often this is going to repeat, when the next start date is, and what the work order duration should be. So this started on the 25th. Maybe this year I determined that it's better if this starts 1 week from everything else. I want this to start on the 1st. And I'm going to give my team 5 days to complete. Go ahead and click save. And now this work order this preventative maintenance schedule will only We'll only schedule that on that specific date. All right. One other tool that you can use in bulk is canceling. So let's say that I don't want to do any more of a certain PM. I'm going to clear my filter here and find one that might make sense. So maybe these bathroom cleans, I decided we don't want to have a PM for that actually. You can really easily cancel these things in bulk. Select the things that you want. So I'm going to hold Shift and select all of these weekly bathroom cleans. Click Cancel and hit Confirm, and it will cancel all of those maintenance schedules, so they will not generate to clean that bathroom. You'll notice that underneath our active maintenance schedules, we have our canceled maintenance schedules, and we'll see those recently canceled ones right there at the top. So if you decided you in fact did want to do these things, you can come back in here and reactivate this work. This might be nice if AkitaBox rolls out, helps you guys roll out some tier 1 asset preventative maintenance schedules, and you decide some of those things you want to cancel, and then down the road, you get back on track and you realize we have more time on our hands and we want to reactivate some of these work orders. Once again, you can do this in bulk as well. So you can reactivate those work orders that you had once canceled. Great. The last thing I wanted to look at is how to view previous completed work orders from maintenance schedules. So where you'll want to do that is in the assets or rooms field. You could do this in the work orders field, but because I want to find for a specific asset, I'm going to come in here and put a filter on. So I'm going to search for all of a certain type, and I want to see my boiler information, how often these things are being serviced. I'll add that filter, and it will load up all of my boilers in that building. Go ahead and click on the boiler that you'd like to view, and it will load up all of that assets information. First, on the overview page, we're going to have our overdue work orders and open work orders if there are any. We'll see our recent activity. So it looks like the most recent thing done was on April 16th. I did a filter change. I could see more details on this boiler if I'd like. But what I wanted to show is what open work orders there are. You'll notice that anything with this little calendar icon is scheduled. It's not currently open. So we don't have any open work orders. I can look at my closed work orders. So this filter change did occur. I showed you guys that on that overview page. We have another closed work order that has this X through it. That means it was canceled. This work was scheduled, but it was never done. Lastly, you can come in and view your maintenance schedules, and you'll have a list of all the maintenance schedules that are associated with this asset. So I can see my yearly boiler. I have a yearly boiler PM. I have an inspection around the boiler and a filter change. If you wanted to view that actual maintenance schedule, you would simply need to click on that maintenance schedule ID, and it'll load up that maintenance schedule where now you could edit what exactly this is going to be, whether that's the frequency, the assignee. You can come into this details page and edit that stuff as well as editing, actually from the overview page, you can add your description in there, quite a bit easier than going to the details page. Great, that is how to view specific asset information and view the maintenance schedules for those specific assets. That's everything I wanted to show you guys today. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot that into that channel, and I will stop sharing my screen. And Jessica, if you want to send me those questions, we can start answering them.
We actually have not had any submitted to the Q&A portion yet. So if you guys do have those questions, if you could submit them now, and we can answer those live. We'll give a little time here for the questions to come through.
I'll give you guys another minute to submit any. Oh, looks like. Oh, thanks,
We do.
Beverly. If you guys don't have any questions, if anything comes up, please feel free to send us any questions through our help desk or directly to your customer success manager. We're always happy to meet and help you guys roll out your PMs, strategize your PMs, and just talk through any questions that you guys have. Oh, it looks like we are getting some questions in here now. Jessica, so if you want to feed me those, I can start answering whatever we need.
Yeah, definitely. One question came in, can you modify group work orders? There are a few things that you can modify in bulk that Luke demonstrated. If you have something specific that you're looking to edit, if you could please send that in and we can address that. Next question. On a PM, if a new PM is auto-generated, what happens to the first one that wasn't completed?
That's a great question. So right now, that work order would remain open so that you have that history that it wasn't done. If you just simply cancel that thing, it would still retain that history that it wasn't done in that closed work order section. So you'd still know maybe that piece of equipment broke down and you want to know, did we do the PMs on it? And you can see that we did not. If that PM then generates another one, I would suggest canceling the old one and then using the new PM to complete, just so that you know you completed maybe you didn't complete the April inspection, but you did complete the July. I think that answered the question.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Next one is, how can I see what notes were taken about work done on an asset? So Luke, if you want to pop back into AkitaBox and show us how you can look at action taken.
Yeah. So if you want to, was this for a specific asset?
Yes, I believe so.
Sure. So I'm going to need to find an asset that we've completed some work on. I think that this air handler I probably have completed some work on. So if you come into the work order, you'll see the overview with each event of what happened. So if I completed this work order filter change, I could come in here, click on that work order, and then I can see that it was completed. I can see any activity that was done. I logged 4 hours and 25 minutes worth of work. I completed the work today. I used filters and belts. It cost $350.
All
Jess,
right,
do you think
awesome.
do you think that is?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they were looking for.
Perfect.
All right, and it looks like we are just about up in time. If we did not get to your questions live, we will be following up with you through email to answer your questions.
Thanks, Jess. All right, thank you, everyone. We'll see you at our next webinar. Thanks for joining.